She started to cry. He said, I love the passion in your voice and the light that's in your eyes. I don't know where this is leading, but I know that it is right.
Well, good morning, Mini Path Spiritual Center. Welcome to the sanctuary. Hello. There's your energy. Well, I guess we need to get our energy up, and let's do that by singing 2 songs back to back. We're going to release and let go and know that our souls are welcome here. We'll sing 2 songs back to back. Everybody stand up, and let's release. There was a time in my life, thought I'd have to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient, didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you're discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, gotta let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say: I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle. 2, 3, 4. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and my soul is flying free. I'm in the right place at the right time. I can be where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I can be just what I'm meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, and my soul is flying free. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just what I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I can be just what I'm meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Say it again. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. All right. Please be seated. Reverend Christina, do you see where that energy went from way down here to way up there? I think the roof levitated about 3 or 4 inches. Absolutely. All right, kids can go with Miss Steph. I'm going to grab a drink. Okay, cool. All right, everybody. I'm going to give everybody a big welcome to Many Paths Spiritual Center. This is a place for authentic transformation, you guys. So when we were born, we were perfect. We were perfect creatures. We were creatures that came from the divine. And over the years, somewhere we've covered that up. We've forgotten about that. And we're here to remember who we truly are, which is children of the divine. We're here to love each other, to give each other support, and to hopefully give each other some great ideas and information to help us on our spiritual path. That is what community is all about. That's what spiritual community is, and that is why we exist. So I want to go over, for those of you who are new, I know that you guys are curious about who we are. These are our 3 defining who we are statements. Many Paths Spiritual Center is an inclusive, affirming, interfaith spiritual community. We honor the unique path of each person's spiritual journey. We encourage a heart-guided exploration of the truth in all faith traditions. And we strive to be a presence that contributes to the well-being of all. So welcome everybody to Many Paths Spiritual Center. We are a vibrant, active spiritual community, and I'm going to prove that right now by reading some announcements. Who's going to read announcements for us today? Hi, Ms. Kelly. Everybody say hi to Kelly.
Good morning, Many Paths. I'm going to try to, my voice, I've got all this sinus stuff going on. It's so hot outside. So, our announcements for Sunday, July 6th. We will have our next membership orientation on Sunday, August 3rd after the service. If you're looking for a place to call your spiritual home and a great community to put down roots, please consider deepening your commitment with us. The class will last about an hour, and a light lunch will be provided. Happy Class changed to Tuesdays beginning this Tuesday, July 8th at 6 o'clock with cardio drumming, mindful stretching, and a cup of positivity to go. The cost is $10. Sign up at the front bulletin board to reserve your happy spot. The complete July schedule is also posted on the bulletin board. Survival of the Soul with Frank, Wednesday, July 9th at 6:30 here at Mini Pass Spiritual Center. Our final class focuses on karma, life purpose, soul signs, and language. No sign-up needed, open to all. Our final class, vibrational value of $10. Join us for a potluck and community meeting after the service on Sunday, July 13th. We will have some time for food and fellowship and then get caught up on current events and business within the community. Most importantly, we will hold 2 important discussions that will focus on the future of MiniPass. Your attendance and input are greatly appreciated. The Empath and HSP Support Group, Saturday, July 19th at 10 a.m. here at MiniPass. Join Frank and others as we deepen our exploration of our emotional and spiritual empathic gifts. I don't know why I'm having trouble saying that word. Empathic, yes, thank you. Donation to our church. Join us Friday, July 20. Okay, sorry, these are written kind of weird. Okay. Join us Friday, July 25th from 7 to 8:30 as we join in Satsang Circle. Bring questions, concerns, joys, gratitude, or just your presence, which is always enough, as we share truth and oneness in beloved community. Lunasad Community Dinner and Ceremony, Friday, August 1st, potluck at 6:30. Ceremony and corn dolly craft to follow. Let us celebrate the wheel of the year's turn toward gratitude as we venture into the harvest time. We will have a community potluck, then a ceremony, and create personal corn dollies to connect with the rhythm of Mother Earth. To sign up for the ceremony and the corn dolly craft, please sign up in the front room or contact Frank at appointments@thespiritchrysalis.com. All activities or meeting links and contact numbers can be found on the website, weekly happenings, Google Calendar, or you can always email the church. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kelly. Well, I was supposed to do this during the welcome, but I'm just only going to do the most important thing that I'm supposed to do today, right now, which is welcome Reverend Christina Garza. We don't often have special guest speakers, but you are the most specialist kind of guest. I'm just going to tell you a couple of quick things about Reverend Christina. She might tell you a little bit more later on, but Reverend Christina was born and raised in Chicago, and she is a proud Chicana Latina who brings her whole self to the table. Cultural roots, street smarts, academic training, spiritual grit, and a bold bilingual voice for transformation. Reverend Christina isn't your traditional reverend. She's a sacred disruptor with a mission to awaken, include, and ignite. Her ministry centers on often overlooked communities, the LGBT communities, Spanish-speaking folks, low-income families, and makes sacred space for healing, wholeness, and belonging. She preaches in 2 languages and builds bridges where others build walls. When she's not speaking truth in Unity Magazine, which I am a subscriber to, or holding space in soulful workshops, you'll find her dancing salsa with her wife, Veronica, feeding the neighborhood stray cats, or crafting dazzling, we do that too, yes, yeah, that's right, or crafting dazzling diamond dot art with her daughter, Isabella. And in all that she does, she radiates the power of purpose, healing, and holy fire. Welcome, Reverend Christina. All right, let's have our centering thought.
Good morning. All right, let's begin this portion of our service by taking a deep centering breath. Today's centering thought is service to others is a manifestation of our love and a pathway to peace. When we can serve other people, we are not only able to see outside ourselves, but we are able to see the beauty and good that brings us beyond ourselves. We realize that we can create the reality of both a prosperous and sustainable world. By developing values of care towards the disadvantaged, compassion for those suffering, and tolerance for people with a different outlook on life, we tend to find out more about ourselves. Helping others is a humbling activity that shifts our perspective and makes us look at our own life from all angles. Consequently, we start transforming aspects of ourselves for the better. When we come together in service as a spiritual community, we strengthen our bond as we help others in need. If serving others is a spiritual practice, we can only deepen our love for each other when we serve together. When we show up together in service to our community, we show the world that we take our principles to heart and are serious about doing the work that it takes to create a better world. Simply put, our spiritual community is defined by how we serve our community. And now please repeat these affirming statements after me. I gladly and willingly give from my abundance to help others in need. When I help others, my life flourishes. I find joy in giving, for it reminds me that I am blessed. And so it is.
All right, it's time to sing a little bit more, and our theme for the month is pretty obvious, I think, because this is the weekend that we've celebrated freedom in all its various forms, and here at Mini Path Spiritual Center, we're celebrating our individual freedoms, our freedoms to be on our own spiritual path, to choose what speaks to our hearts and minds and live from that experience. And guys, I got news for you. That is true freedom. That is true freedom when we are able to walk our spiritual path in freedom. So I think you guys, some of you guys are going to remember this song. This is a song from our musical foundation. You think that's a good way to say it? This is part of our musical foundation from our previous Unity of Music City. This was written by our former music director. We're going to have fun singing this song about freedom. I think those of you who know it, sing it out and help everybody else learn, even though it's really easy. By the time you get through the first chorus and the first verse, you got the whole song. So let's all stand up and sing it together. Let's learn it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Talking about freedom. Freedom. We're singing about freedom. Freedom. We're talking about freedom. Freedom. We're singing about freedom. I've lived my life for many years from a place of doubt and fear. Then I remember why I'm here, and I embrace my freedom. Freedom, we're talking about freedom. About freedom. Freedom. We're talking about freedom. Freedom. We're singing about freedom. Made some mistakes. I've acted a fool, trying to live talking about freedom. Freedom. We're singing about freedom. Freedom. We're talking about freedom. We're singing about freedom. Don't ever be what you're not meant to be. Open your eyes to what you're meant to see. Don't give up your dignity. Walk your path of freedom. Freedom. We're talking about freedom. Singing about freedom. Freedom. We're talking about freedom. Freedom. We're singing about freedom. If we want respect, that's what we have to give. If we want love, that's what we have to live. We want forgiveness, then we have to forgive. Then we'll know real freedom. Freedom. We're talking about freedom. Freedom. We're singing about freedom. Freedom. We're talking about freedom. Freedom. We're singing about freedom. So what do we do? Walk your path of freedom. Thank you so much, everybody. Please have a seat.
Well, good morning, everyone. How are y'all today? Y'all look good. Yes, Windy City, Chicago. I heard somebody say, ooh. South Side, yes. All right. Originally South Chicago. By almost the east side, going into Indiana. Yeah. Where are you from?
Still part of the coast.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Uh-huh. Well, thank you. Yes, I love Chicago too, but now I'm an official Tennessean. I have allergies, so it's official, y'all. All right. Well, let's take this time for meditation. And so I'm just going to invite everyone to just settle in their chair and to just get as comfortable as your body is asking you to be. Maybe you shrug your shoulders. Maybe you wiggle your fingers and toes, just really getting into that divine position. And we take some beautiful, deep, cleansing breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Don't be shy, y'all. We're in family here. Just allow for that inner sound bowl to just resonate. We're just quieting the mind. We're just allowing the body to be. We're just allowing for that allowing. And so we open this sacred time, we open this meditation time, just invoking all of the higher vibrations, all of the wonderful universal energies that are constantly within us, around us, and between us. We call forth those energies here and now to be present with us. We call forth all the ancestors, the guardians of this territory, all that is beautiful and holy and of high vibration to be in this sacred circle with us on this glorious morning. And so as we call in that beautiful energy, and we know that we are guided and protected and safe. I invite everyone to set an intention for yourself in the here and now. What is the freedom that is being called forth in your life? Don't overthink it. Just allow that message to just gently wash over you. What is that freedom that is calling forth from that depth of your soul? What is that freedom that is expanding that heart? What is that freedom that is calling you to your greatness? What is that freedom that is waiting to be born in expression? What is that freedom that will bless the world? What is that freedom that you will step into that will not only bless your life, but it will bless your family and your community and the generations before you and the many, many generations to come? We step into that holy freedom today. We step into the knowing that we are of the divine. We step into the truth that we are the ones we have been waiting for. We step into the freedom knowing that we have been called to this iteration of life by divine appointment to be light, to emit light, to emit love, to be love. We hold that truth in our hearts. And we open up our minds to be curious about this freedom that our soul is calling us to. And we open up our heart, allowing for those feelings to come in that allow for that freedom to rush in. And we open up that abdominal space, that womb space, that place of creativity, of courage, that allows us to be in fully alignment as we open, as we deeply open to the truth of our freedom. We are free. We are not here to suffer. We are not here to be in pain. We are not here to be in chaos and strife. We call forth the affirmation from the holy fire of the deep that it is our birthright to be free, as it is for every sentient being. And we give thanks for this knowing. And we give thanks to be the vessel of the holy as we walk. And so it is. Amen.
How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful? How could anyone ever
And just a blessing to be with this community this morning. Oh, use a mic, not this one. So this one's a no-go. All right. So we'll just maybe do this. This might be more trouble than it's worth here, but got a whole fashion crisis here. But I'll talk to y'all while I kind of just figure this out, like, hey, all in divine order, right? So really it is a blessing to be here with you all today. I've visited your community before, and it's it really to me is a standard of how to do spiritual community. Just you feel the presence and the power when you walk in this space. You feel the upliftment, if that's a word. So I want to thank you for holding it down and holding it up, not just for your community, but for the world, really, because what happens here makes a difference out there and in here. Yes? So thank you. And we want to bless Reverend Deb, wherever she is at, just holding her in sacred space for rest and relaxation and fun, dare I say. And all of you, just board staff and volunteers that make this happen. So I also want to give thanks to you all for allowing us so gratefully, we're grateful to have a table outside. So part of our ministry, my wife Veronica is here with me. She's also a Unity minister, just licensed in December, woohoo. And so part of our ministry is to work with indigenous communities in Mexico to support the artisans that are there to continue in their traditional ways of working and being and their art. And so we have that outside to sell today. So we would be grateful if you thought, if it calls to you, to be able to get a little something. And it's really cute too, y'all. So we've been talking about freedom today, right? Freedom is what is on our minds today. So happy belated 4th to you all. Yeah. I'm going to hand this off. Let's see. And then I'm going to unclick this here. See, I never wear belts. And the one time I did, because I'm going to be honest with y'all, these things are not meant for women, because most women don't wear, at least with women that are.
Oh, you're over the shoulder. That's interesting.
I just needed to show y'all my arms. I guess that's what it was, right? All right. Woo! Maybe I'll just go ahead and do it without it. Heck. Maybe that's what Spirit said. Get that jacket off today. So happy belated 4th to you all, first of all. Who went out and saw fireworks? Anybody? Yeah. Did the fireworks? Yes. Okay, I will confess, I did see fireworks because I know they're really well known in Nashville, but I saw them from the comfort of my bed. Thank God for live stream. They were amazing, but thank God for live stream. So, I want to talk a little bit about freedom, because we're in that energy, right, of the 4th of July, of Independence Day. And so I'm going to recap just briefly what we're celebrating, because honestly, you all, don't we forget what the heck the holidays are for sometimes? I know we do that all the time. Like Mexico has several Independence Days, or like Cinco de Mayo, and you're like, what are we celebrating again? So, the 4th of July, also known as Independence Day, is a federal holiday in the United States, and it commemorates the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. So the document was drafted primarily by Thomas Jefferson that announced the separation of the 13 colonies from Great Britain and the birth of the U.S. Now, the founding fathers were immigrants to a new land. They were coming to the Americas as immigrants, escaping, whatever they thought was not of what they wanted in their home country. They came to America seeking political liberty and religious freedom and economic opportunity. They were motivated by a desire to escape tyrannical rule and establish a government that prioritized individual rights and self-government. They also sought to create a system where people held ultimate power rather than being governed by a distant authority. So bottom line, right? They're coming here wanting independence and freedom. For me, it's such a great opening as we kind of ride the energetic wave of this moment, right? We just came off of even Pride, right? LGBTQ plus Pride, this idea of freedom. And freedom is really the reminder for us, all of these celebrations, of what our soul call is. Natural human condition as human beings, having come in here as infinite spiritual beings, our natural human condition is to want to be free and to want to share freedom. That really is, regardless of what other people may think or say, that really is where we are. Let's look even at children, right? Children are such a great example because they're coming into this being free, wanting to play and be curious and wanting to be big about their lives, right? No children says, you know what, I want to be in 12-step when I grow up, What do they say? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Been there and done that. 12-stepper in the house. But they want to be big. I'm going to be an astronaut. I'm going to be a doctor. There are big things because they're understanding, having come from source already, new to this iteration of life. They understand their bigness. But yet, why is it then that so many of us are in bondage? We feel that. That's what I felt. I came into Unity and New Thought because I was a hot mess, y'all. I was a hot mess, and I had a lot of things going on in my life, and that's how I found Unity and felt like I was at home, and the idea that I had the power within me, the idea that I had the ability to be free of whatever. And so that was a radical idea for me at the time, but it really called to my soul. So many of us, right, we come with church hurt. Anybody? We come with all kinds of fears about life, feeling shackled, feeling controlled, having anxiety, having fear, having our body not behave the way we want it to. Anybody there? Who is stressed out about the world today? Yes, we're all in that boat, right? We're all in that energetic soup. We're there, we're stressed. Circumstances that are out of our control, whether they're in our life, in our family, with our children, with our spouses, with our country, with our political leaders, whatever the case is. Maybe it's that diagnosis. But we're feeling that everybody's got something going on, right? Yes? Who's got stuff going on? Yeah. Too much, yeah. Too much going on. One of my spiritual teachers and mentors, who is no longer with us and passed, a transition some time ago, was a Unity minister, very well known, called Reverend Eric Butterworth. And I want to share with you all just a quote, because I think it really speaks to some of this about what we're doing here today. It's like, don't let the outer happening squeeze you into its box, but open your mind to the flow of wisdom, love, and God, and good judgment by which you can deal masterfully with it. The greatest single effect of a crisis, and quite possibly one that is also the cause of it, is fear. If you have felt the icy fingers of fear and insecurity, it should be to you a revelation where you are in consciousness. Now let's think about that for a second. Some of us are new to spiritual teachings or new thought, or however we want to think of what we're doing or learning or being. Everyone has a right to make that definition and identity for themselves. But when we're in this for a while, we know that we have the power within us, that we have that freedom to choose. And so we know that we can take the shackles off of our mind and body and not be bogged down in that negativity. And yet the race mind, which Charles Fillmore called it, the race mind or the race consciousness, is around us that tells us otherwise, yes? But that's the way of the world. That's not the truth. See, Jesus, who is my master teacher, though I embrace and use many spiritual teachings from around the world, but in Unity, our core is the master teacher, Jesus. And, what we're taught by Jesus' teachings is to be in the world, but not of the world. What does that mean? That doesn't mean to put your head in the sand. That doesn't mean to ignore and spiritual bypass. That does mean to engage the world, not separate yourself, but to engage differently. And here's the where it twists and turns. It's about engaging differently in the world, to be able to be in a different consciousness, that is a consciousness that is expansive, that is a consciousness that sees possibility, that a consciousness that sees something that no one else sees. You know what? You see hate right there, but I see love. I see love, and I will only claim love regardless of what you tell me is happening in this world right now. It's that kind of affirmation. It's that kind of passionate affirmation that we must begin to feel, not just think. See, because we've been done a bad bit, y'all, by thinking that it's all mind treatment. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone, but it's the body too. It is the mind and the body. This is the temple of the holy. And so therefore we're talking about how do we get all of this in alignment to be in it, to feel it, to know it, to claim it. The world is hard at some level, but we don't have to claim that for ourselves. I mean, we're all guilty of it. I'm going to say, right? You get a pain and you claim that pain. Oh, I have back pain. Or I have a diagnosis, and you claim it for yourself. Part of the little trick is not claiming it. It doesn't mean that it does not exist. It just means that it is not your essence in you. So you have that little bit of understanding about that separation. So times can be hard. Times can be challenging, and I've been through them. I've definitely been through my share of them, right? What do we say? Ooh, everything's going to pot. The world is going to pot, y'all. What is happening? Every day I turn on the news, it is a poop show out there, right? We say that, don't we? All of us are there. I remember going to Chicago and seeing a friend, and I asked her, how are you doing? And she said, same poop, but she didn't say poop. Same, different day. And I was like, wow, what kind of life is that when we embody that? And the truth is, some of us, though we don't realize it, that is deep down the subconsciousness that we have, that we're living that life of victimhood. Same poop, different day. But what are we choosing? And this is the beauty of freedom, because we have the freedom to choose. We have the freedom to say, you know what, this might be going on, but I am not choosing that. I am choosing something different. Instead of getting into something like getting into depression or getting into sadness or getting into fear, I'm getting into higher consciousness. Now, again, I'm not saying those things don't exist, because they do. As a person who has dealt with depression, it does. But there are also things that then we have to work with that are being able to call forth our divine nature to be able to work with us in this. In the Bible, probably my favorite, kind of quote, or at least the thing that I feel really anchors my ministry, comes from Romans chapter 12, verse 2. It's attributed to the Apostle Paul. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, so that you may discern what is the will of God and what is good and acceptable and perfect. There's another translation that most people don't know about that's kind of fallen out of favor, but it was from 1958 called the Phillips translation by I think it was Presbyterian minister, J.B. Phillips. And he says it this way, puts a little twist on it to kind of make it more modernized. And he says, don't let the world squeeze you into its own mold, but let God remold your mind from within. I like that too. I wanted to share that. So let's kind of get into it. We're here many paths, right? So we embrace all sorts of spiritual traditions, right? That's your jam, your holy jam here, right? So, master teacher, Jesus. What is Jesus? That was one of the most dynamic teachings that Jesus brought to the world, that was brought in at least what we think, was this person named Jesus in the teachings. But there's still, whether there was a Jesus or not, people get hung up on that. The truth is truth. Somebody taught this to Jesus. These are perennial truths that existed in the world, from generations to cultures. This is just sacred truth. And that was the message of freedom from human bondage. His entire ministry was about telling people, you are free. He didn't say, I healed you. He said, go, your faith has made you whole. It turns on that dime, but it's a very important distinction because he didn't claim the truth of their being. He claimed it for them in the sense of being a portal or opening up a space for them to claim it for themselves. In John 8:32, you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. In Matthew 11:30, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. What's a yoke? Do y'all know what the yoke is? They put on animals. So you may have that. You can feel it like, oh, that control, like I don't have control. You know what? But when we know the truth of our freedom, when we know who and whose we are, when we know what we've come here, what our divine mission is, then we're able to say, okay, it might be there for now, but it's light. It's light and my burden is light. Buddha, from the Dhammapada, and I'm sorry, I know I just butchered that one, but excuse me. No one outside of ourselves can rule us inwardly. When we know this, we become free. Also, the mind is everything. When you think, you become. Freedom starts with mastering the inner world. Taoism, Lao Tzu. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. The true freedom arises from surrender, not control. He who conquers others is strong, but he who conquers himself is mighty. From Yogananda, freedom means the power to act by soul guidance, not by the compulsions of desires and habits. You do not have to struggle to reach God, because we've been told that, right? That we need to struggle, we need to mea culpa, we need to Hail Mary, we need to do punishment. We don't need to struggle, because we don't need to do that with the Creator, with the allness, with the one. It is there. It is a loving universe. So you don't have to struggle to reach God, but you do have to struggle to tear away the self-centered veil that hides him or hides it from you. Rumi, the Sufi mystic, why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Don't get lost in your pain. Know that one day your pain will be your cure. Nelson Mandela, as he was freed from prison, walked and said this, as I walk out the door toward the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. And lastly, from Unity's co-founder, Charles Fillmore, God is the source of all freedom. And when we unite with divine mind, we are liberated from fear, limitation, and ignorance. Freedom is not something we earn. Hear me now. Freedom is something we remember. It is in our DNA, people. It is in our DNA. It is our sacred calling. It is our universal remembrance. It is our spirit source. This is what we know. So the idea is not for us to work at it. The idea is to allow. The idea is just to open up and embrace. The idea is to just remember, like, oh, yes, that is me, and that is now. All of these teachings, I don't care where you go in the world and what time you go, what period, they're all saying the same thing, just putting their own flavor on it, right? It's the unveiling of what was always there beneath the noise, and that is that we have the power within. Are we downloading that, y'all? Yes. The truth of the masters. That is only our consciousness that can ever really keep us in bondage. When we believe these things that people have told us, when we believe that we were less than, when we hear the messages of an ex-husband or a mother or a father or a teacher or somebody that tells us these things, when we hear these things and we hold to that, that is the only thing that can keep us. They're gone. They are not thinking about you, right? You're holding on to all of this stuff and they're la-di-da-di-da, in their life. That is the only thing. You are keeping yourself in bondage. I always remember this film from a while ago. Did anyone see Life is Beautiful? And it's yes, right? It was such a poignant example of what this means. They're in a concentration camp. He's there with his son in a concentration camp, and yet he makes it this beautiful space, this playful, playground for his son, and they're playing games, and he finds ways to make it so his son doesn't fully understand where they are and what's happening. But that's just a beautiful example of how we can be in the worst of situations and still find beauty and still find possibility and still find hope and still find community. These are the things. Changing the consciousness is finding our freedom, remembering our freedom. Because when you do that, even if you say, you know what, I'm not feeling it today. Because, right, we're like, I want healing, but I'm not really fully believing that today, right? But we can have these ideas and we set that wheel in motion. See, we live in a fast food culture, so we want everything one and done, don't we? We want it fast. Like, hey, I went through the McDonald's drive-thru. I just got my cheeseburger. Like, why can't I get healing? Come on, Spirit, right? Yeah, wouldn't that be cool, though, if you could go to the McDonald's drive-thru and get some, I need a new hip, right? But you're changing. We have to know that it's the steps that we take. We want it big, right? Go big or go home. It doesn't always work sometimes it does. But it doesn't always work like that in spirit. We have to set the intention. We have to declare it into the universe. I want that freedom. I don't know how it's going to come. I don't know when it's going to come. I don't know where it's going to come from. But I know it's going to come. Yes? That's what we're doing. Opening up to this universe that is good, that is abundant, that is prosperous, that is for us. It is for us. We just got to get out of the way and allow. Because there might be pain. I say this all the time. There might be pain. There is pain. But struggle is optional. See, we live in a culture, I don't know, in the south side of Chicago and in Chicago and places, they call it the grind, right? I'm on the grind, which is I'm working hard, I'm doing my thing, working 3 jobs. I'm, trying to deal with the kids. I'm trying to deal with the ex-husband or, ex-wife or whatever. I'm on this grind, And then there's also this idea, which is part of the grind, when you're living in that. It's like a day-to-day struggle that you're in. You're trying to find some kind of semblance of life and of you within all of that. And then when something good happens, what are you doing? Oh, shoot. When's the other shoe going to drop? Right? Who does that? Don't make it just me, y'all. Right? When's the other shoe going to drop? We worry about that instead of being in the presence and being in the present of just enjoying that and understanding, oh, this sacredness is opening. My sacredness is opening because I'm allowing it to open. When we're doing that, when we're in that grind culture, when we're in that shoe dropping culture, when we're in all of that consciousness, we're practicing the absence of God while maybe occasionally practicing the presence. Do you hear me on that? How many of us, and I'm claiming it too, come on Sunday, right? And you're lifted. Ooh, we hear the music and we're like, yes. And then we go out and we get a phone call that just knocks us off the block, right? Or the traffic or anything. Or we go home and something happens. We have to always remember that we have to practice more than we think. Because all of this stuff in the world that happens, the news, the newspapers, the neighbor telling you something, the coworker, right? It's all of this that is taking you usually out of spiritual core. You have to bring back. You have to bring yourself back, to the remembrance. Who's a Star Wars fan in the house? Yes. Do, 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 do. Yes. Love it. They did the song on the Nashville fireworks. I just had to send it to my whole family because we're all Star Wars junkies. But, it's so many things in our culture, including Star Wars, that is so popular. Why? Because it's a remembrance. We're cluing on, we're glomming on to that something that's like, dang, this is really feeling like me. This is really feeling true. This is really feeling like something I resonate with, And that truth is what? The force is within us, always. We forget. Has anybody, I do this all the time. I'm walking around, right? And I'm like, baby, where are my glasses? Where are my glasses? And I'm asking my daughter and I'm asking everybody, and they're like, what glasses? My glasses, And I do have quite a few pairs of glasses, so they don't really know. And they say, the glasses that are on your head? Oh, man. Who's done that? We're looking for something out there when it's right here. That's just one example of what we do. But the dynamic force of life, of goodness, of godness, of allness, of oneness, of beauty, of joy is always in expression in us and always waiting for us to allow it to be in further bold expression. Yes? I'm looking at my time here. I want to just share some tips for everyone in my last minutes here. And that is, we have to practice. We have to be in discipline around some of this. And I know in spiritual circles, like we're all woo-woo, like it's all love, like it's all, we don't talk about discipline or not. So I'm always kind of like, no, you guys, like no, folks, like no, we have to talk about discipline. And what I mean by that is that for every minute, for example, that we watch the news, or that we're scrolling on Facebook and we're like, what? That happened today? Or what? That Facebook friend said that? For every minute you do that, you need 2 minutes of spiritual time. 2 minutes or more. Because what you're doing is you're then allowing yourself to still be in that energy. And what we want to do is practice the presence. And so I really, if you take anything with you all today, is to take your personal spiritual practice important. As much time as we are on social media, and I'm guilty of it too, we need time. And maybe it is on social media, but it's on pages or following things that are uplifting, spending time in the presence, spending time unplugging. And it doesn't have to be like we think, again, go big, go home. If I don't have an hour, I can't meditate. No, even 5 minutes. Your 5 minutes in Walmart. It is not about the quantity. It is about the quality. It is about the intention you set. I'm going to be here in this Walmart line. And for like the time that I'm waiting to check out, I'm just going to like be in my presence. Oh, yes. I feel spirit washing over me. Oh, yes. I feel the energy of the universe rushing in. Whatever it is that you want to say, whatever floats your boat, gets you ignited, do it. But we need that now. We are in a time in the world that needs every single person here. Do we understand that? Every light that is here in the room, and y'all are mighty lights, are needed. And those on live, I haven't forgotten y'all. Mighty lights, even though I can't even see you, but I feel you. We all need to be on point. I started saying that I saw the fireworks. And, you know, as I said about Star Wars and other things, fireworks too. I told my wife after this fireworks, I'm like, God, why do we love fireworks so much? Like, it crosses cultures. I get in these rabbit holes. She calls me the FBI. She calls me the FBI because I'm like, what is this? I gotta find out, you know? And so, can you believe in 2024, U.S. customers, American customers spent $2.2 billion, hear me, $billion on fireworks. But it's not just about the fireworks. It's about what they remind us of. I came to kind of really understand as I investigated the psychology of it. It's about seeing things that remind us of that awe and wonder. It's about seeing things that maybe cling onto or kind of download into a place of our childhood that maybe was when it was easy and light and carefree. Maybe it's about remembering that we're with family or other people, and regardless of what we think or believe or our political affiliations or our colors or our dress, that we all are here just enjoying fireworks, and man, they're awesome. It's something that is so powerful about what a fireworks show evokes, but it reminds us ultimately of our own freedom. The first celebrations after the Declaration of Independence was signed had fireworks. That is why till this day we have them, because it was embedded in the whole idea and celebration. I have a cool quote of Adams, but I don't have time for it. But it's about that. It's about the fireworks reminding us again, sacred moments, remembrances of our freedom. So as I close, I just want you all to remember you're going out today and you're turning it up. You're turning up that fire. You're turning up that awe. You're turning up that joy. You're turning up that sacred fire within, just like a firework. Anybody know the lyrics to Katy Perry's song Fireworks? Yeah. Because, baby, you're a firework. Turn to somebody and say, you are a firework. You are a firework. You are that deep power within. Freedom is calling you. Freedom is calling you. Remember that sacred calling. Remember that divine essence. Remember your birthright. And remember that you are a story of human resilience and joy. So let's go out there, y'all, and boom. Thank you. And so it is.
Oh, thank you so much, Reverend Christina. I love that you talked about discipline, because that's a hard thing to talk about. We don't want to think about that. But when you come to the realization that you need to figure out what your spiritual path is, then there has to be a level of discipline to start figuring things out. What works for you? What works for your spiritual upliftment? I just got a copy of the I Ching. Pray for me as I try to get through that. But I am determined that I want to add that book to my set of spiritual tools. And that's just one example of me being disciplined enough to get from the first word to the last word. It's going to take a little bit of discipline, and that is. Let's not look at it as a hard thing. Let's just look at it as a wonderful, beautiful challenge of life. I want to do this, and let's just dig into it and enjoy it. So thank you so much for doing that. I want to remind everybody of all the activities and events that we've got coming up, and also remind you to give back to this spiritual center, and we do that by 3 ways. And what are they? By giving of your time, by coming to classes and events and services, by giving of your talents, by sharing who you are, all of your gifts with this spiritual community, and your treasures, which is the financial prosperity that you have in your spiritual life. And there's a couple of ways that we have that you can do that. One is the blue vase there on your way out. Please put your paper donations in there. If you want to do it on PayPal, there's a code right there that you can use on your way out. Please give to this spiritual community, because your donations buy us toilet paper and everything in between, from toilet paper to paying our office administrator and everything in between. So we appreciate all that you do for this spiritual community. Check your What's Happening newsletter that comes out on Tuesdays. Our office administrator is back from her cruise. I don't know, it's cruise year, right? Between Janet and Reverend Deb, it's cruise season. So check your What's Happening newsletter on Tuesdays. And if we don't have anything else, let's all stand up and say our closing prayer together before we sing our way out.
All right, together, everyone. May I stay true to the path that leads me to the light that is mine to shine. May my light provide help and kindness to others on their journey. May I bring peace to every situation, comfort to the grieving, and love to all beings. May my heart remain centered on what is sacred to my soul, and so it is.
Shine our light. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.